Hello, this is our fifth lecture for drawing class over line with volume. So we're going to be talking about cross contour, like what's happening in this image here, and how we can use line to show space, to show volume. So cross contour, what is it? So cross contour is lines that go across the contours of an object. So we have a contour line drawing. Now we have these lines that are going and wrapping around the contours of that object. So they're parallel lines that curve over object's surface, either vertically or horizontally, or sometimes both, and they try to show volume. So volume is going to be a three-dimensionality of a form. It's going to be something that looks like it has depth and space. So cross contours are going to trick the eye into thinking that there's a sense of space there, right? We have both of those, either pits or bumps, in the image on the right where it looks like there's a plane and then all of a sudden there's a dip in the ground or a bulge. So when we're dealing with line, we need to always remember that our brain's going to group different line directions as one plane. So we have this really big painting. It's a huge painting by Sol LeWitt. You can see right down here there's actually the pole and the little fence that divides you as the person from the painting, which is, I don't know, several stories tall. And each one of these sections of line are grouped as a different plane. So I think we can all see how this is a weird cube that in the center our brain has trouble figuring out if it's going back or forward in space. So cross contour is going to wrap around the form. It's going to help show three-dimensionality. We can see that happening in these images. We can see that cross contour kind of happening on this wine glass here as it wraps around. So there are a couple different types of cross contour. There are one and two direction. So one direction is going to go and wrap around a form like so, like with this hand. We can see that there's really fine details like veins or wrinkles that can be shown with cross contour. Here's works by Moore. You can see that he loves using cross contour. He's got this hole that happens here, this kind of weird figure. You know, some of his works take over the whole space and they kind of warp the sense of space and make it look like it's very 3D and very surreal. I always love the works of Jim Woodring that does a lot of one direction cross contour. There's also two directions of cross contour, which just be aware of it. They can be really cool, like of this weird squash thing here that looks like it's got a lot of volume and three-dimensionality to it. But we won't be doing this style too much in class. These are another good examples of two-direction cross contour. One of my friends in grad school would always do this assignment where she would take bananas, she would draw the cross contour lines on there, she would put them in a big pile, and then you draw the bananas, and you could, as you're drawing that still life, very easily see how those cross contour lines work. We really shouldn't confuse cross contour, especially two-direction cross contour, with planar analysis, like this student drawing by one of my old students on the left, where there are these kind of different planes. It looks almost like a low poly 3D rendering, or cross hatching, where we're building up values by having different line directions. We'll get into cross hatching down the road. We'll talk about value, but first we need to understand how volume works. So you get good proportions, you get a good understanding of volume, then you can move on to value. So there's going to be one direction of cross contour that we're doing. We're going to have multiple drawings that we're dealing with cross contour. Some of them are going to be horizontal. Some of them are going to be vertical. These are the steps that we're going to take. So we're going to do a quick line gesture. We're going to get the outlines of objects. We're going to use sighting to get more accurate proportions. So I got my cup. I got it all sighted out. It's ready to go. Then we're going to, in pencil, find a center mark. And if we're doing, horizontal, like this cup drawing, we're going to start to figure out how those lines wrap around the form horizontally. So we're going to do them in pencil first with graphite. We're going to finish it up by inking the whole drawing, right? We're going to add line weight, so we're going to add thickness and thinness of lines to kind of help show that sense of space. And then we're going to erase all of our graphite. So there shouldn't be any pencil, it should just all be pen by the end. So for this project, we're not really focusing too much on value. We're not trying to depict how light gradates around a form. We're focusing on volume. So we're trying to show how things work in 3 dimensions. Once we understand how to draw things that have a good sense of volume, then when we add the value to them, they're going to look even more realistic. So for right now, we're not dealing with value. So no cross-hatching. I don't want to see a drawing looking like this. That's not what we're doing. We're focusing on volume. So some of our drawings are going to have vertical cross contours that run up and down the form. And then another drawing that we're going to do is going to have the opposite. It's going to have horizontal cross contours that run, left and right across the form. And we can think about how we can use some line weight to help reinforce that sense of space. Okay, so once we get working in class, this is going to make more sense. But for right now, if we know our differences between horizontal and vertical cross contour, we should be good to go. Okay, so get working on the rest of this module. Look over the homework. Look over the big project we're going to do next, so you're well prepared for when we come in class to start drawing.